historic occasion. The waiter is going to bring on my special port.
Splendid.
Cigar?
Oh, why, thank you.
My private brand.
You know the salt mines were one of those enchanted mornings in the Arabian Nights when the thieves foregathered in the marketplace. Thieves and passions.
Tell me about yourself.
Well, where shall I begin?
Do you hear, mademoiselle, those musicians of now?
Where? Get rid of that man.
You sing the Belle Polonaise.
Didn't ask for the program, he asked me to get rid of him. As you were saying, Baroness.
Well, until I was 50, my life was relatively uncomplicated. It consisted of me selling off the various estates left to me by my father. 3 years ago, I parted with my last farm, and 2 years ago, I lost my last husband. So now, all that's left of me is...
Run along.
So that's, in short, all I have left of me now is my name.
Your name is precisely the name we need on our board of directors.
Oh, very flattering.
You will understand when I tell you that mine's been a very different upbringing. I came up from the bottom. My mother spent most of her life bent over a washtub in order to send me to school. I am eternally grateful to her, of course, though I must confess that I no longer remember her face. It was no doubt beautiful, but whenever I try to recall it, I remember only the parts of the video you showed me. Her rear.
Very touching.
When I was kicked out of school for the 5th and last time, I decided to find out for myself what made the world go round. I ran errands for an editor, a movie star, a financier. I began to understand just a little what life is. Then, one day on the subway, I saw a face. My rise in life dates to that day.
Really?
One look at his face, and I knew. One look at my face, and he knew. And so I made my first 1,000, passing a box full of counterfeit notes. A year later, I saw another such face. Landed me a nice bird from the narcotics business. Since then, all I've done is look for such faces. And now, here I am, president of 11 corporations, director of 52 companies, and beginning today, chairman of the board of the International Combine, on which you have been so good as to accept the post. Looking for something?
Did you drop this?
Oh, I never drop anything.
And this 100-franc note isn't yours?
Give it here.
Are you sure it's yours?
All 100-franc notes, Baroness, are mine.
Mr. President, there's been something I've been wanting to ask you. What exactly is the purpose of our new company, or is that an indiscreet question?
Indiscreet, not a bit. Merely unusual, as far as I am, you're the first ever member of a board of directors to ask such a question.
We want to explore a commodity, a utility.
My dear Baroness, I haven't the faintest idea.
But if you don't know, then who does?
Nobody. And at the moment, it's becoming just a trifle embarrassing. Yes, my dear Baroness, now that we are close business associates, I must confess that for the time being, we're in a little bit of trouble.
I was afraid that the stock issue isn't going well.
No, on the contrary. The stock issue is going wonderfully. At 10 o'clock, we issued 500,000 shares to the general public. By 10:05, they were all snapped up at par. By 10:25, when the police finally arrived, our offices were a shambles. Windows smashed, doors torn off their hinges. You've never seen anything so beautiful in your life. And right now, our stock being quoted over the counter at 124 with no sellers, and the orders are still pouring in.
But in that case, what seems to be the trouble?
The trouble is that we have tremendous capital and not the slightest idea what to do with it.
You mean to say that there are people who are fighting to buy stock in a company that has no object?
My dear Baroness, do you imagine that when a subscriber buys a share of stock, he has any idea of getting behind a counter or digging a ditch? A stock certificate is not a tool like a shovel or a commodity like a pound of cheese. What we sell to customers is not a share in the business, but a view of the Elysian fields. A financier is a creative artist. Our function is to stimulate the imagination. We are poets.
But in order to stimulate the imagination, don't you need some field of activity?
Not at all. What you need for that is a name. A name that will stir the pulse like a trumpet call, set the brain a-whirl like a movie star, inspire reverence like a cathedral. United, General, International, Consolidated. Of course, that's been used. That is what a corporation means.
And do we have such a name?
So far, we have only blank space. In this blank space, a name must be printed. This name must be a masterpiece. Baroness, over the course of my career, I have managed 11 great corporations on the basis of 11 magnificent names. Though I've racked my brains trying to think of something, Nothing has yet come to me. I seem a little nervous today. Though somehow I wish that... Look at that. Just like the answer to a prayer. You see? There's one. What a beauty.
You mean that girl?
No, not the girl. That face. The one that's drinking the water.
You call that a face of the tombstone?
It's a milestone. It's a signpost. But is it pointing the way to steel or wheat or phosphates? That's what we have to find out. Ah, he sees me. He understands. He'll be over in a minute.
And when he comes?
He will tell me what to do.
You mean business is done this way? You would trust a matter of such importance with a stranger?
Baroness, I trust neither my wife, nor my daughter, nor my closest friend. My confidential secretary has no idea where I live. But a face like that, I would trust with my inmost secrets. Though that man and I have never seen each other before, we know each other to the depths of our souls. He's my brother. He's myself. You'll see. He'll be over in a minute. What is this, a conspiracy? Yeah, take it back. We don't want your envelopes. Waiter, what the devil is she saying?
Sorry, sir. Only Irma understands her.
Who's Irma?
Irma! It's the waitress inside, sir. Irma!
Yes?
These gentlemen
Tell
like
this
so...
dog, get out of here for God's sake. What's she trying to say anyway?
She says it's an exceptionally beautiful morning, sir.
Well, who asked her?